Okay, I think I'm streaming, but as per usual, let's get a audio check because I never know when my equipment is going to fail on me. So let's see here. Making sure, can I hear myself? Making sure, can I hear I can hear myself. That's a good sign. All right. Looking sharp, Nom. Ads. All right. Well, perfect. I guess I haven't done anything yet, so good time for ads. But welcome in. It looks like a bunch of people are already here. All right. Welcome back. Hi, everybody. Nom here. Hopefully, everybody's having a glorious evening. So I guess we have a bunch of people already here. Chan, thanks for opening the trick list. Guys, if you are not following our friend and mod, Chan the Magic Man, please give Chan the Magic Man a follow. Chan the Magic Man, one of the other few magicians on Twitch that has a regular magic schedule. So give him a follow and catch him doing magic and Magic Mondays. And let's see here. Guys, if you're not following our friend and mod, GipsonLens, please give GipsonLens a follow. GipsonLens, pianist, composer, made his first album last year, and is also a software developer by day for Double Fine. Double Fine has released a game called Keeper, which we played on stream, but then also they just announced a new game coming out called Kiln. So that looks bizarre. Just to be honest, I mean, that was my first impression. I'm like, wow, that's weird. Let's see. Hey guys, you're not following our friend Charlie's Beats. Welcome in E-Room. How's it going? Charlie's Beats may one day stream again, but for now, Charlie's Beats is a music Twitch or otherwise general Twitch famous chatter. From what I can tell, everybody knows Charlie. If you don't know Charlie, then I don't know. Like to me, Charlie is like quintessential. Like Charlie's like the quintessential chatter in chat. Um, I guess clearly, if I don't see Charlie in a chat that I would hang out in, then is it worth hanging out there? I don't know, because Charlie hangs out in all the chats. Durkee Blaine, welcome in. How's it going? Guys, we're not following our friend Durkee Blaine. Please give Durkee Blaine a follow. Durkee Blaine, his name's Derek, variety gamer, but is also a magician, has also done a bunch of magic on his YouTube, but has also shown some magic on Twitch. So definitely give Durkee Blaine a follow as well. And then let's see. GipsonLens says, I'm still sick. I'm sorry. I hope you get well soon. I know, that sucks. So my family has been very sick, like, for the past, like, 4 or 5 days. So I can kind of commiserate, I guess, in a, not, I'm not that sick. So, but Turkey Blaine says, so now my favorite suits are clubs, hearts, diamonds, spades, and knobs. Turkey Blaine, thank you kindly. You know what? You're going to get one of these. There you go. Thanks for that, Turkey Blade. Yeah, but anyway, I hope you get well soon, Bert, and thank you also for the comments about the suit. Turkey Blade said, nice suit. Chan says, looking sharp, Nom. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And welcome in E-Room. How's it going, guys? E-Room says, hi, Nom. Hi, E-Room. Or, hi, Mike. I should probably, because E-Room calls me Nom. He doesn't call me crazy, so I should call him Mike. Welcome in, Mike. How's it going? Guys, you're not following our friend E-Room. Please give E-Room a follow. E-Room, known as the Pope of Indiana. Definitely give him a follow. He'll do in-real life streams, community game streams, opening Kinder eggs, finding out if he can fill out his collection, showing us Lego chess. So definitely, oh, and if you are a fan of words on stream, you should probably go over to E-Room stream. They make it over level 100 very regularly. So GipsonLens says, we shall see. Recovery has been extremely slow. My sympathies. I could give you whatever remedies, but at the end of the day, they're just at home, like, chicken soup or like orange juice, right? Eat more different things. I'm of the belief that if you give your body lots of different things, then you give your body all of the tools that it needs to fight off infection and stuff. Although ultimately, if that's not the bottleneck, and like your body can't actually heal, then I don't know. All right, sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with chat. GipsonLens, thank you so much for the 15 stream streak. What? Chan, thank you so much for the stream streak. I know I had some weird streams in the last couple weeks where it was tough because I only announced them in my Discord. They're not scheduled, and like I had some weird ones like the tech demo or the trying to use my tablet and my phone. I understand. So Turkey Blade, thank you so much for the 3 stream watch streak as well. Appreciate it. All right, and then let's see. And then E-Room, thanks for all those emotes. All right, okay. So, um, first things first. Before anything happens, I'm gonna put on cheating gloves. I whoa, I almost dropped it. So, let's see. Few things. First things first. Everybody's probably wondering why the hell am I in the suit. That's probably a very natural thing. So if anybody didn't know, I had a real gig tonight. It was a volunteer charity gig, and I was performing magic in the cocktail lounge of a comedy club here. So the comedy club in Rochester, New York is called Comedy at the Carlson. Yes, why, says Chad. Yeah, yeah, of course. So tonight there's a show called show. There's a show called Stand Up for Autism, and it's a charity event where there's several community members in the um, local community that are autistic, but they also want to do stand-up comedy, and this is an event that allows them to do that. The Center for Autism does put on other charitable events. I'm just associated with this one because the director is a guy in the Magic Club, and so he was up. He was also in the act as well, doing comedy magic. So we had 3 autistic comedians tonight, and we had 2 magic comedians, one of which was our headliner. If anybody's heard of Sky Sands. Cool, I'm also autistic, says Chad. Yes, that's absolutely correct. If you actually go to Chan's stream, you'll see autistic is part of his tags and keywords. So, yeah. Double Triple, welcome in, Ron. How's it going? Good to see you. I'm just going to go ahead and eat this. All right. So, despite the fact that even though I'm currently unemployed looking for employment, I was like, this is still a good opportunity to take this gig because A, it's for a good cause. B, it's a really fun time. I did get admission to the event, so I got to watch the comedy show. And then after, I was also taking notes, so we will talk about the show in a little bit. But let's see. Oh yeah, so I stayed at the show, watched the whole show, hung out with a few of the other magicians that were there, and then I was like, all right, if I get home and there's plenty of time, I can take a shower and then stream, which is what I would normally do. But today I got home and I'm like, it's gonna be stream time. No, in my mind I was actually thinking like the Mario. It's gonna be stream time in like 15 minutes. So I'm like, all right, let me just go home and stream. And so this is what I wore to the gig, and I watched the show in this too. So, guys, you're not following our friend Double Triple. Please give Double Triple a follow. Double Triple does a bunch of just chatting streams, talking about a lot of different things. And Ron is also in rural New Hampshire, which, for if anybody didn't know, I've lived in New Hampshire before. Alstro Art, welcome in. How's it going? Thank you for the gigantic, glorious emote, which, by the way, if anybody clicks on that and exemplify, this is basically what I would wear. This tie is exactly the same tie in that emote, in the glorious emote. So, yeah, that's. I don't think this is the same suit. I think that might have been a different one. Although it could be. I don't know what the lighting was like, so who knows. Um, Astro Art says, Where did you get your suit? That's a great question. So I only have four, and I really have only been wearing this one to gigs, which, if I recall, there's only two places where I would have gotten a suit. Um, and actually, wait, no, there might be one place, but they're two different locations. So there's this mass chain like suit place called Men's Warehouse, and that's probably where. Felden Kane, welcome in. How's it going? Good to see you. Oh yeah, thanks for shouting out our friend Felden Kane. Guys, you're not following our friend Felden Kane. Man, I said Felden Kane. You, but Felden, you can gain things, experience, money, power, but don't gain weight. I guess if that's not what you're going for. If you do want to gain weight, yeah, go ahead and gain weight. That's fine. But yes, Felden Kane. I can't talk English good today. Are the comedy vibes coming through? Did I hang out at the comedy club too long? I'm just like going well, nah. Thanks, nah. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty well today. Yeah. First time I ever heard that one. Man, should I just have like a comedy stream today? Yeah. I did throw out this joke when I was there. Somebody was like, "Oh man, you could be a really great great comedian too, right?" I'm like, I'm funny looking." All right. All right. Sorry, I skipped a few chat messages. So okay. Statistically speaking, I probably got this suit at Men's Warehouse. If that's in it. That's just the suit. This shirt, I think, is probably just from like a mass. I don't know if it was like from Target or like Macy's or uh, something like that. This tie I got from a loot crate though. So this tie I got. So if you zoom in on it, you'll see. So there was one nerdy geeky couple that I saw in the cocktail lounge, and they recognized this, and they were like, "Hey, that's." And so sorry, I'm still catching up. Good, well done. Ha ha ha. Okay, all right. First time I ever heard that one. Hello, Bert. Keep on calling. People keep on calling me Felden Crane. All right, this is. Oh, Cheddar Love. Nom. Thanks for the close-up card tricks at tonight's show. Oh, Cheddar Love, welcome in. How's it going? Um, Thank you for coming to stream. It was just. Um, I'm actually not sure. Did I perform? Yeah, so I must have performed for you, or are you associated with the event? All right. But either way, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. And oh yeah, I'll wait for the ads. Yeah, let me know when back from ads. Okay, for anybody else who's still listening to me, I'm planning on having a stream sometime during the day this week, and the entire purpose is going to be improving my stream. That is literally the plan. So, okay, all right, all right. Okay, welcome back. Thank you for letting me know that you guys are back. So, for anybody who's new here, certainly for first time chat, Cheddar Love, welcome in and thank you so much for coming to stream. So, you may have met me. My name's Nam, and I'm known as Crazy Asian, spelled this weird way on Twitch. And I like to do sleight of hand card magic. But the way that I structure my stream is that I have a trick list, which is pinned in chat. And if you go click on that, you'll see all the tricks that I can perform. I recently double checked, and I know all of them as of a couple weeks ago. But there's like 80 tricks in there. But if anybody wants to request a trick, it gets put into this trick list, and then I will perform the tricks. Um, Otherwise, I end up just talking about whatever most of the time, catching up on all the magic stuff that I did, and then other stuff as well, just not related to magic. So that's basically the plan. Thanks for bringing up the trick list for Cheddar Love Chan. Appreciate it. And so, yeah, so there's that. The trick list is open. If anybody wants to request anything, feel free. Otherwise, there's two things I wanted to go over tonight. The first one is the rest of MagiFest 2026. So, for anybody who missed my update last week, I did go to MagiFest, but then I had to come home early because snowstorm, and I didn't want to risk like driving through a snowstorm for like 6 hours. Luckily, I beat the storm, but I had to miss a bunch of stuff that would have occurred on the Saturday that I chose to drive home instead of Sunday, and the Sunday was a no drive day. But um, the people who put on MagiFest, so Vanishing Ink, they basically put all of the streams for all of the events that occurred on Saturday um, for everybody who was registered, so that you can catch up with the event, and so that you didn't miss. You would obviously still miss like hanging out with people in real life and stuff like that, but I caught up with all of those, and so I have notes. And the nice thing about having a stream is that I can write notes, and it won't look like I'm like not paying attention. And sometimes I could also like look. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about the Henry Harrius lecture and the MagiFest Gala show, and then also after that, we are also going to talk about the Stand Up for Autism gig that I had earlier today, which it appears as though there's some representation. Cheddar Love is here. Thank you for coming in, Cheddar Love. And Chan says, I saw you met Greg Rostami. Absolutely, that is correct, Chan. So if anybody saw all the pictures, so I actually met Greg previously. I don't know if he remembered me in prior years, but Greg has been there every year. But I asked him this year about creating like magic apps and stuff. Um, so that was an interesting thing. Long story short, I started creating an Android app yesterday. So, full disclosure, I've just been doing kind of like weird pet projects with coding and stuff. So, for anybody who doesn't know, I am a software engineer and I lost my full time employment last year in 2025. But I hadn't really done any like real, sink my teeth into a project, get it done kind of things. But I started trying to create an Android app last night. So I'm like, all right, let me finish this Android app. We'll go from there. Also, Art says, "Are you vibe coding now?" I mean, so in the sense that I am using Gen AI a little bit to like speed up the process. I'm trying to still understand everything. I'm not just like blindly copying and pasting, but also I want to understand like the structure of like how things in the Android. So I'm using Android Studio in the Android Studio environment to figure that out. But so also Art, the answer is, I guess, for most people's definitions of vibe coding, yes. But I mean, I am trying to learn as well. Chan says he's great. Presumably he's talking about Greg Rostami. Oh yeah, so yeah, I met Greg Rostami at MagiFest, and I asked him about like how saturated is the environment for creating like magic apps and stuff, and he's like, oh, it's very competitive, and I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see. Double Triple says, will there be any videos of the comedy show? No, there was no recording allowed. I did take like a picture that I could probably show you, but it was like after the show with everybody standing on the stage. Um, so also, I don't know if I feel like I'm gonna start coughing. I did, as a precaution, bring down some cough drops. So if I put some in later, that will be that will be why. Feels like everything is saturated now. Yeah, everything's saturated. So some of my magician friends and I were talking tonight also, is that we actually don't feel like um, all of the magic markets locally here are saturated, because there were three of us there and we were like, oh yeah, we probably know between the three of us like almost everybody that does magic in Greater Rochester. But anyway, so yeah, there we go. All right, let me just do a trick so that I can just get let me get acquainted with the suit, just in case I have to move around in it. But let's go ahead and start with the coin matrix, because why not? And then let me see here. Oh, hold on. Let me also. I did not announce in my own Discord. Sorry. My fault. My fault. I had it pasted, and then I checked. I do the audio check, and I'm like, oh, just in case. I don't want to let people come in and people come in anyway. So maybe I should just send it every time I get it ready. Where was I? Oh yeah, let me bring this up, and then let me bring. Sorry, I didn't have. I didn't really have time to prepare. I didn't have time to take a shower before I stream. So if you guys just don't imagine that you can smell me, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Felden Kane says there's a free version of Streamcore. You use it. Yes. So one of the things that I wanted to do, Felden. Actually, I should probably call you Todd, right? So Todd, there's a free, yeah. Todd says there's a free version of Streamcore that you can use to announce when you go live. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to do was look at all the bots that were available to me, free bots, and just see what could alleviate my need for improving my stream. Double Triple says that's fine. Twitch doesn't have smell-o-vision. Excellent. Not yet. Maybe one day, vibe coding can bring you the smell-o-vision. All right. First things first. Um, we have 4 coins here, 4 cards. I'm gonna cover each coin with a card. Felded Kate, call me whatever you'd like. I may call you Nami because I'm not going to call you Crazy Asian. I mean, I understand. I'm also trying to, like, I want to at least be comfortable calling you both or either. So, because look, if we are disparate individuals like this, there's a distance between us. However, if we become closer friends, then there will be less of a distance between us. See, the distance is now very small. And so, not just the two of us, but everybody here in chat, I would like to get to know very well so that maybe we could all get to be on a first name basis. I don't know about you guys, but I want to be on a first NERM basis with you guys. What the hell's a NERM? I don't even know. First NERM basis. Oh man, I will not live that down. All right, and then of course we can do this without the cards as well. So I'm going to place the coins back into the rectangle. It's a punk rock band, I think. And so we will go ahead and make the coins teleport from corner to corner because there we go. I'm not gonna lie, the sleeves are a little bit weird just for. And then we have 1, 2, 3 over here, and then 1 over there, and now we're gonna go ahead and end with our favorite new finale. Here we go. That, my friends, is the cardless coin matrix as well. Thanks for clearing that, Chan. I'm also going to give myself credit for the cardless coin matrix. Okay, cool. Thank you kindly for the claps. Double Dribble, Chan the Magic Man, Felden Kane, GipsonLens, E-Room. Chan's also going to be doing a random request, which will be Overture. Thank you kindly for the applause. Cheddar Love. Man, first time chat already. Cheddar Love using redeems. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to make the barrier to entry for the applause to be low. In somebody else's stream, I forgot who it was. The applause there is like 500 channel points, and I'm like, that's kind of a lot for applause. Like, don't you just want to make it like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, I'll just put it this way: I sparingly use the applause in that stream. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and find. Okay. So here we have 2 black 2s, 2 red 10s. You would not mix up the 2 red black 2s or the 2 red 10s at a glance, right? Boom, red. Sorry, boom black, boom red. Man, I'm mixing up the words in my own brain. Returning chatter, welcome in, Perp Panther. How's it going? Guys, if you're not following our friend Perp Panther, please give Perp Panther a follow. Perp Panther is a variety gamer, is a mom, so definitely give her a follow. All right, where were we? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the two red 10s face down. Now, if I was to place the two black 2s in between, if I was to just reverse count them, nothing would change at the moment. The two black 2s are face up in between. But here's the interesting thing. If I was to go ahead and do a magical gesture, like shaking the packet, let me just go ahead and shake this packet. This packet, now, I don't know if you know, but when I shake this packet, something's going to happen. The two black 2s will be face down on the outside, and the two red 10s will be face up in the middle. I know. Super weird, right? Now, I'm going to break a rule of magic. They tell you not to repeat the same trick twice, but that's what we're going to do. So first things first, you see the two red 10s are in the middle, face up. But I didn't do a magical shake. So now if I just go ahead and I do a magical shake, this magical shake changes everything. And that magical shake actually shows you now that the two black 2s face up in the middle. Weird, right? Weird. Is that weird? That's weird, right? That shouldn't happen. It's a little bit bizarre. Yeah, for anybody who's been here long enough and you know that I say that's weird all the time, I really do need to get like a pin or a t-shirt that says, that's weird. Is that weird? Like, I really need that. All right, thanks for clearing that, Chan. All right, where were we? Oh yeah, the trick queue is empty. If anybody would like to request any tricks, feel free. In the interim, let me now go ahead and talk about MagiFest, the streams that I caught up on. So, there was a bunch of things, but let's start with the Henry Harrius lecture, because chronologically that actually occurred before the gala show, but I actually watched it after the gala show. So, Chan says, I would buy any merch from you that says, that's weird. Dude, okay, that's, you know what? I need to write that down. Not necessarily that you would buy it, but like I should create merch that says that, because um, then you could be like, if I see that shirt like out in the wild, I'd just be like, hey, do you know who I am? And then hopefully they would say, Feldon K says, I'm from Holland. Isn't that weird? That's weird. Ads in 1 minute. All right, thanks, Chan. All right. Guys, if you don't like ads, so I forgot who it was that said something, but I don't try and do too much magic during the ad break, but like I've tried to fill the ad break with just random stuff. Some people are like, "Man, that's like the best stuff right there during the ad." It's just me talking, but I mean, whatever. However, if you do sub, you can sign a card. We have, let me see here. We only have 2, 4, 6, 7. We have 7 more cards in the Twitch deck to sign before we fill this one. So here they are. All right. But, all right. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the lecture, and then if anybody wants to request any tricks, feel free. All right, so Henry Harrius. I didn't really know who Henry Harrius was, but watching the lecture, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that Henry Harrius was also Asian. And I was like, oh, okay. I probably shouldn't have missed his lecture, which I guess I was going to because I physically wasn't there, but I'm glad that the stream was there. So he took notes, but he had this funny running gag. Great cube magician, says Chan. So Chan knows who Henry Harrius is. And yes, he did do a segment on cube magic. That was like the third or the fourth segment. But the first thing he said was, I'm going to try and solve this cube, the scrambled cube, from far away on this chair. Legend. And he places it at the beginning. I have some of his stuff, says Chan. Awesome. at the beginning of his lecture, and then he says, "All right, anytime anybody sees me approach it, everybody just says no, no," and so that he can't physically get close. All right, so, all right, let me know when people are back. Okay, but yeah, so I will actually pause on the lecture uh, until people get back. So, so what can I do to be kind of entertaining in the meantime? Let's shuffle. I'm just going to shuffle a skinny deck of cards. If anybody hasn't seen this before, this is the air deck, and it's just like skinny cards. They are half the size of a regular poker playing card, but in the vertical direction. So not half the size folded horizontally. But yeah, if you haven't seen this before, they advertise this as great for travel because they are small, take up little space. You can play games. They're made out of plastic, so you can wash them and you can fan them. So if I fan this, it'll look pretty nice. It's surprising how well it fans, right? I think that's pretty good. Not gonna lie. And actually, I think I can do a ribbon spread, and we can even do this. Like I don't have as much control because once it flips over, it doesn't like stay up. Back, says Chan. All right, excellent. I was trying to fill the visual void during the ad with that, but okay, here we go. Getting back to Henry Harris. So he placed a cube on the side of the stage, and he told everybody, if I get near that cube, everybody says no, but I'm gonna try and solve it before without touching it by the end of by the end of the lecture. And I think it was like a 90-minute lecture, so it was pretty long. Um, so the first thing is he asks a kid to get up on stage, and this part's funny because he asks the kid to examine like a cork and a jar and coins, and he asks, "All right, oh, do you have a Sharpie?" And the kid actually does have a Sharpie on him. I mean, this is the benefit of like having an audience that are magicians. But it was super funny, and so he signed it with his own Sharpie, and instead of taking his Sharpie, is like, and now you can put your own Sharpie away. But he did, if you're familiar with a trick called coins across. So coins across is when you have a spectator hold some number of coins over here and have them travel to the other hand. And so, um, but he did it into a glass jar that was closed, and I'm like, what? That's so weird. Um, and that was an interesting effect. And actually, he talked about all of the sleights and how to achieve that. And I'm like, man, this is a little bit more complicated because inside the jar. And I'm like, oh, okay. The next trick he gets is he brings up another kid on stage, and then he tells them, "Hey, check out these yellow rubber bands." There's this important thing that he says about magic that he always tries to structure his tricks to have an opener, a middle, and an ending. Which, I think for people who are just starting to learn tricks, it's not really something that you would think about or pay attention to. At the point where I am, that means a lot more to me because I am trying to structure tricks for doing magic gigs, for doing shows, for making it entertaining to be here, that kind of thing. And so that kind of spoke a little bit to me. But his first thing was he showed how to split a single rubber band. So he held a rubber band like this, and then he split it into two rubber bands by just running his finger down. And I'm like, wow, that looks so good. And then he taught us how to do that. I'm like, that's so good. So, um, and then he did another thing where, let me see here. Oh, I didn't. Okay, okay. Yeah, he taught us like a technique with a rubber band, and I'm like, what? That's so cool. And it's like I've never really done rubber band magic before, so if anybody has done rubber band magic, there's this trick called Crazy Man Handcuffs, which is done with two rubber bands. But like that's like beginner. You can look that up on YouTube. People will teach you. But like this stuff that he's doing, you will not learn anywhere else except maybe from him. And There's probably a few other like rubber band magicians out there, but I'm not familiar enough with all of them. So he gets another kid up for a third trick and lecture like lesson. But the first thing he asks the kid is like, "Did you bring a Sharpie?" And the answer is no. So he produces a Sharpie, and I'm like, okay, that's an ongoing gag for the rest of the lecture, by the way. Um, but he actually does a card to box. So if anybody has heard of like a card to mouth, he does card to box. But it's card to box like 5 times. It's yeah. Chan says, "Did you try practicing some of the tricks at the lectures yourself?" Well, no, I was worried about taking notes because and then even the ones that I was watching here, I'm like, I'm gonna take notes, and then luckily I have the stream, so I could revisit these ones if I wanted. But no, I'm not. I'm not actively trying to practice because I'm trying to like record it and or like document it in a way that I can see. So I was like, if I was very I could like record it with my phone or something on my computer screen, but I feel like that would go against like the how should I say this, the ethical standards or the intent of like allowing us to have the stream, especially because it wouldn't have normally been intended to be allowed because the snowstorm. So and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna record anything. I'm just gonna do what I would normally do if I was there, take notes. So I took notes. Um, but yeah, and then he taught us how to do this card to box entire routine, which the card gets to the box like 5 times. It's crazy, and I'm like, man. And there's one there's one like gimmick. So for anybody who doesn't know what a gimmick is a thing that is either created or crafted that is not what it appears to be. So for example, if, and this is just an example, not like part of this lecture or something, if I have a regular deck of cards and everything's like for real, there's no gimmick there. But as soon as I like take some tape and I tape like a rubber band to a card or something, that is now a gimmick. So if you didn't know, that's what it is. Because now if I present the deck as a regular deck, and but there's this card that has a rubber band on it, it could do something different than a regular playing card would do. So anyway, yeah. So this card to box, brilliant, the entire routine, and he actually gives a few tips on like how to handle like a couple of the later phases, and I'm like, that's crazy. And there's also this technique that I'm like, I should probably learn how to do that, especially now that I'm fine with like giving out cards as souvenirs. Um, the thing that I'm trying to figure out now is like, should I learn how to do the Mercury card fold? So for magicians, that means a lot. For everybody else, what the heck is a Mercury card fold? Even though you could probably figure out like conceptually kind of what it is, right? If you take out the word Mercury, what does it leave you? And if you say a solar system without Mercury, I'm gonna smack you. All right. I know what it is, says Jan. I know you do. There are lay people in the audience, though. So, and then let's see. He gets another kid up afterwards, and then he does a folded card to mouth, which is basically the exact same thing as a Shin Lim act, but Shin Lim actually adds smoke and stuff. But there were two very important things, and I'm actually not going to share them, but two very educational things from like a presentation standpoint that he brought up during that I was like, whoa, that's brilliant, and I wrote that down, but I'm not going to share. So, for anybody who is a magician, if you're interested, message me later, or actually maybe message me in Discord. Double Triple says Mercury was the god of speed. So what you're saying is Mercury might be the origin of the phrase Godspeed. Is that what you meant, Double Triple? You earned that one. You earned that one, Ron. Okay, let's see. Um, yeah, and then he talks about producing a Sharpie. Okay, oh, and then at the very end, he talks about Rubik's Cube magic. So he talks about so he did like 3 or so different like Rubik's Cube magic things. He does talk about a couple of high level solving techniques. He talks about a particular routine where he developed a thing, which I won't mention. He talks about like you guys can imagine that there's such thing as false shuffles in card magic. He talks about false shuffles in Rubik's Cube magic. So, um, yeah. And let's see. Oh, and after his discussion, I did think about for the first time, because like I do experience it with this jacket, so it's actually kind of funny that I'm wearing it today. But um, I'm seriously thinking about getting a couple of my jackets tailored because it's super nice. Like right now, I only have like 2 actual usable pockets in this, and it's just nice to just have legitimately more pockets because you want to have like your tricks separate and like so right now I'm overloading pockets, so like there's like a couple pockets with like more tricks than one in each pocket. So I was like, all right, he sold me on the idea of getting some tailoring done for my suits. But anyway, so he put a cube into a jar, and then at the very end, he made the cube solve itself. As he tried to approach, everybody said no, no, which he tried to approach like 3 or 4 times throughout the entire lecture. Up until this very end, he never got close to it. But then finally, at the very end, he said, "Oh no, no, I just want to show you guys something." And he goes and picks it up, and it's completely solved. And I'm like, "What? That's crazy. That is crazy." So I am now a fan of Henry Harris. I honestly didn't really know about him before, so there we go. Awesome. Let's go ahead and I want to do a trick, and then we can get to more stuff. Oh, you know what? I never do this the regular way. Should I do this the regular way? So I normally use the letter deck for this, but I don't have anything to spell. So we can do this the regular way today. Please hold while I do a thing. This is the problem about not having every trick set up for stream, is that I have to spend some time potentially setting up a magic trick. Okay, here we go. Let me determine if we are ready. Okay, there we go. So here we have our deck. Let's go ahead and give this a mix. Okay, and then we're going to need a card selected, so I'm just going to go ahead and spread through. And let's see, we do need a card selected. So let's say here, if anybody wants to select one of these, if you are on desktop, you can click directly on the screen and it should mark one of these with a heat map. That could be our selection. So it looks as though somebody has clicked here. So let's go ahead and take this one as our selection. Okay, boom. All right. Okay, so now for the rest of this trick, I'm going to go ahead and cut off about a quarter of the deck, and we're going to cut this into about 4 roughly equal parts. They don't have to be like exactly equal. If you were here, I could have you cut these. But now we're going to do something really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and turn these two face up, and we are going to shuffle face up into face down. And so here we go. 1. Then we will do it again. 2. And then we'll do it a third time. 3. Oh, crap. And then I would find your card. Well, hey guys, here's your card. There it is. There it is. See? Look. We can now be done with the trick, right? I just came back from comedy club. This could be a joke. Ha 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 ha. All right, delicious. All right, no, that's not gonna fly. So you know what? Let's do something interesting. Let's go ahead and bring our friend the deck sock out, guys. If you haven't met the deck sock, here's the deck sock. Ta-da! Now the deck sock is going to help me fix this trick. Deck sock, go ahead and take a bow. All right, excellent. Thank you, deck sock. So here we've got like a deck. Some cards are face up, some cards are face down. But you know what would be maybe really impressive? All right, deck sock. Can you go ahead and work your magic on the deck, and then maybe you could get chat to guess what their card was. Do you think you could do that? Yeah? Okay. Yep. I think deck sock says yes. And so here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right, chat. Let's see. Can you guess which card your card is? Actually, let me fan this way. It'll probably be easier to read. Okay. So it appears as though that there's not as many cards as one would expect. So here's an ace of spades. Here's a two of spades. 4, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, and king. All right. Any guesses as to what the selected card was? I'll give you a hint. Hopefully somebody can get it. Hopefully, because now if I show you all these cards here, I mean, anybody? Going once. Go. 3 of spades says double tribble. All right, and here we will show you that we indeed. Oh no, that's not the 3 of spades. Oh my, how embarrassing. Dexock, can you fix this for me? Okay. All right. We can't let Ron be wrong. All right, there we go. 3 of spades. And that, my friends, is Play It Straight Triumph with Dexock. And a little kicker at the end. Just in time for the ad break. Roll it. Roll the ad. All right. Yeah. Just in time. All right. Okay. Woo. All right. Um. Let me clear that. And then let me go ahead and get notes ready. All right. Oh, guys, if you've been sitting around for a while and you're not hydrated, please feel free to hydrate. I'm having diluted black, what is this? English breakfast tea. It's diluted because I start. Bay JMB, welcome in. How's it going? Who's that dapper man? Who is the dapper man? I don't see him. I don't know who the dapper man is because I cannot identify any dapper men over here. There's certainly no dapper men currently here. You need a mirror? I need a mirror. Where's a mirror? I guess I don't own any. It's too much of a risk to own a mirror when I could get 7 years bad luck. So no mirrors, no mirrors. Welcome in, Bay JMB. How's it going? How you doing today? Good to see you. Guys, you're not following our friend Bay JMB. Please give Bay JMB a follow. Welcome back. All right. So once again, the queue is empty if anybody wants to request anything. Otherwise, we will talk about our MagiFest 2026 Gala show, which I was able to watch because of the stream that was provided because so many people had to miss it for traveling to avoid the large snowstorm. Which, by the way, there's like a foot and a half of snow here, so it's a little crazy. Mirrors wouldn't want to be flashy. Welcome in, JB Strange. How's it going? Guys, if you're not following our new friend JB Strange, I physically met JB Strange at MagiFest. So JB Strange is also a magician. Only a foot and a half? I mean, so here. ZD Major 7, thank you so much for the raid. I can ship you some extras if you want. Man, I don't need any more snow, JB Strange. Welcome in, ZD Major 7. How's it going? Guys, if you are not following ZD Major 7, so first of all, ZD Major 7, pianist, singer, plays with a video game orchestra, and all around just great person. Loves hot chocolate and ice cream. So, thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. For some reason, I can't hear you. Oh, is my audio coming through? I'm not muted. Can I, hold on, can I hear my own audio? I always do the audio check just so that hold on, can I hear okay, I can hear my own through the stream, so. Alright, welcome in Pinecone, welcome in ZD Major 7, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in Ligaius Joys, and thank you for that follow as well, greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much for the raid. Hi, my name is Nam. I like to do sleight of hand card magic on stream. I normally do it sleight of hand Sundays, usually in this time slot. And I was just talking about recapping a convention thing. That's a long story. We'll get to that in a little bit. But how's your stream? No worries. I think something is wrong with my setup. Okay, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. All right. Good night, everyone. Yeah, if you guys are not following our friend ZD Major 7, please give ZD a follow. And as part of the raid, let's go ahead and hold on. Let me find ZD Major 7's signed card, and we will do some magic with ZD Major 7's signed card. Please, please hold while I find the card. Z card. Okay, here it is. ZD Major 7 signed 8 of spades. All right, so here we go. Here's ZD Major 7 signed 8 of spades. And for anybody who hasn't seen me before, let's go ahead and do the first couple, which, by the way, my usual walk-around set consists of this trick that I'm going to do, usually, and then usually one other one, which can vary, but I like to follow it up a very specific way. So here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and place the 8 of spades here into the middle of the deck, like so. We're now connected to the 8 of spades, because we know a ZD Major signed card. However, we can make it jump from the middle to the top just by snapping like that, because if I show you, here is ZD Major 7's 8 of spades. Now, if I take it and I put it into the middle of the deck like this, we tap it in, it goes in there. You didn't see me do any weird cuts to bring it up to the top, but look, if I snap, that will bring it once again from the middle back up to the top, and there it is. Now, some people don't believe I actually put it in there, so let's go ahead and put it back into the middle, and I'll show you that before we snap. Here's the card that's on top. That's a joker, but look, if I snap, that will bring it back up to the top. So I did this trick maybe about a dozen times tonight, and everybody enjoyed it. Some people believe that magicians will swap out a card. We're going to leave this sticking out so you know I haven't swapped it out, but also it's signed, which is super unique, and we can still show you the signature, right? by ZD Major 7. I'm going to stick this in the middle of this packet. I'm going to stick this whole packet into the middle of this packet. And Nalani Proctor, thank you so much for the resub for 12 months. Welcome in, Nalani. How's it going? And guys, if you're not following our friend Nalani Proctor, please give Nalani Proctor a follow. Nalani Proctor uh, changed stream Twitch names recently. Nalani Proctor is her name, but used to be known as Unfocused in IA. So, but hi, yes, hi, welcome in. How's it going? I'm in a suit. I know this is strange. I can explain the suit to people in a minute. So, but look, if I just go ahead and I snap, that will bring it from the mid back up to the top. I came with the raid. Oh, thank you for coming in and hanging out with the raid. And so here we go. So here's ZD Major 7, and let's see here. I know that we have a Nalani Proctor card as well. So let me go ahead and, there it is, 7 of clubs. So thank you so much for the resub, Nalani. And let's go ahead and, you know what, we're gonna do a trick with these two. So ZD Major 7 and Nalani Proctor are both musicians. And they are great at writing songs, arranging songs, performing songs, and we need to have some sort of inspiration for them, right? So hold on, I'm trying to find inspiration for them, and so how do they find inspiration? So let's have them try and find inspiration. I'm going to go ahead and just give these a quick mix there. There we go. Okay. And so every single song that they perform, they're going to put their full 10 out of 10 effort into performing. Now, perhaps this first song, maybe it doesn't look like magic, but it could be hard work, right? Because for anybody who performs, whether it's magic or music, you do have to put in a lot of time. And so, you know that deep down inside, it's not magic. It's skill, because if I just go ahead and I show you, they're digging for their next hit. They will find that that hit could be a 10 out of 10. Now, of course, the people who only have one 10 out of 10 song, they are known as one-hit wonders. And we hope that neither Nalani Proctor nor ZD Major 7 only have one hit. We want them to have many. And so, let me go ahead and show you. Nowadays we will perform long distance, and so they might not have to, show their skill. They can just perhaps release uh, digitally, long distance, remotely, as some would say. And so, look, if we just go ahead and they will now find their next song at 1, 2, and I don't know if you guys could see, but look, one just shot out, and look, they found their next 10 out of 10 song. Now, some people believe that perhaps um, they might need to put in a lot of public appearances here on Twitch, maybe go to conventions. But sometimes some of your best work can be done in seclusion. When you're isolated and you have focus time and quiet, and during that time, perhaps is also when you can find that you can create another piece of work that is also a 10 out of 10. And of course, finally, I don't know if you guys are thinking what I'm thinking. And I don't know if you've done this, Nalani, and I don't know if you can hear me, ZD Major 7. ZD may have hopped off because ZD couldn't hear me verbally anyway. But perhaps if you guys haven't done a collab, this is maybe the best time, because you know that a collab might garner a 10 out of 10 song. And that, my friends, is an improvised storytelling trick for Nalani, and ZD Major 7. So ZD Major 7, thank you so much for the raid. Nalani, thank you so much for the resub. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you kindly for the applause. Bay JMB, thank you for the claps. Nalani, Felden Kane, Pinecone, Double Tribble. Alright. Okay. Let me go ahead and I'm going to attempt. Hold on, let me see if I can. There's this trick that I always mess up. Let me see if I can do it without messing up. Nope. Okay. Today is not the day, so maybe I don't think I attempt it. Or you know what? Maybe I will attempt it, but like in a cheatery way. Maybe not as glitzy. All right. Okay. So here we have ZD Major 7 signed 8 of spades, and Nalani's signed 7 of clubs. So if we leave Nalani down here, and we hold ZD, let's hold ZD up here. But here's the thing, sometimes one of them might raid into the other, and so if you go back to stream, you have no idea which stream you're going to be in if a raid was to occur, and actually, uh, yep. Alright guys, I've just revealed the secrets of magic, and if you weren't watching, that's okay, because, you know, we're not gonna do that one. Actually, here, let me do that with the clear deck really quick, because by the way, I've shown this almost. I've shown this trick on stream before, but how it's supposed to look, and I'm not sure if this will work out any better. So here is a 7 of hearts, and then here is what it's supposed to look like. Ha! Ta-da! And now it's a 4, but because it's clear, you can kind of see where it ends up, right? We saw nothing, said Double Dribble. Shh. It's okay. I've taught. Actually, I haven't taught this one, but the hardest thing about this one is like doing the move, right? So here we go. Ready? And if anybody wants to look this up, this is called the snap change. So it's supposed to look like this. There you go. Change is pretty good, but the end result is this. Ta-da! All right. Okay. Hold on. Let me try that with these one more time. Okay. All right. You know what? We're gonna do this, but and I'll show you why I can't do it right now. My fingers lack the tackiness. Mind blown, says Pinecone. Oh yeah. So I think also revealing some sleights is like kind of cool, right? Because for people who are not magicians, you don't know like how much time and effort it takes, and sometimes it's just as easy as I can't get tactility on my fingers, right? Thank you kindly for the claps. I didn't do anything yet. I mean, I exposed some magic, which I guess if you're clapping for that, I guess that makes sense. Okay, all right. And actually, maybe I'll just use this camera instead of going down because that other one. Okay, all right. Sorry, still rubbing in. Still rubbing in. All right, right now I'm giving you the master class on how to make this card change. All right. Nope, not yet. Da da da. Hey guys, here's how you make magic dust appear. Is it just funnier that I'm making the expression on my face, or is it because it's funnier that I'm making the expression and I'm wearing a suit and a tie today? Which, by the way, for anybody I think who has just been in stream before, you probably never seen me actually wear anything like this on stream because I don't wear this on stream. I basically wear the equivalent of pajamas to stream because I stream so late on Sundays normally. And then anytime when I'm gaming, it's basically either my regular clothes or my pajamas. So, okay, all right. So important question: can I do this trick? Oh my God, I can't do it right now. Hold on. Okay. All right. I don't know if it's because I was out and just doing magic gig earlier, but guys, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this, okay? No, we're not. We're not gonna get. Wait. Is this deck not suitable for this anymore? Okay, no, that one seemed okay. Oh! Alright, hold on. Okay, let's pretend we are in ZD Major 7 stream. And then let's say ZD Major 7 raids out to Nalani Proctor. And so when you come back, you see that you are now in Nalani Proctor's stream. Yeah. Okay, I think that one should have looked clean. Let me see if I do it the other way. Nice set. Oh, yes. But then sometimes you're like, oh man, I've been streaming for so long, and then the other person has a stream. Very good. Okay, there you go. So now you're in Nalani's stream, but then let's pretend that Nalani sees that ZD Major 7 comes back on and, returns the raid. Comes back. There you go. Okay, so that one looks good. So yeah, all I need was tactility, but actually, so these cards in this Twitch deck are getting very used, and because I think we only have like 7 or 8 cards left that are not signed, then after this whole deck gets signed, we can switch to the next deck. Sick! Says Nalani Proctor. Alright, just in time for the ad break. Perfect. uh, anyway, looks good, right? Looks good. Alright. Anyway, feel free to take a sip if you guys have been sitting around, you've not hydrated for a bit. Please feel free to hydrate. Okay, all right. So once again, the queue is empty. If anybody wants to request anything, feel free. We are now going to start recapping the MagiFest 2026 Gala Show. Um, so the Gala Show is this big event at the end of the MagiFest convention, where they usually have basically 5 to 7 headlining magicians, and they're all like world-class international magicians. And so the introduction that I saw on the video, which I don't know if they set that up on stage or if that actually happened, was from a guy named Jason Latimer. And earlier in the convention, he was shown to be the guy, the impossible magic guy. So he was the one who put together a program that ended up putting um, this educational science like exhibit that now can travel throughout the United States to help young kids get interested in science by using magic. And so he was doing this little display with laser lights, and there was like dance music, oomps, 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 oomps. But he had a laser like come on through with like fog, and he took a hanger, hung his lab coat on it, and then hung it on the laser. And then when he turned off the laser, the the hanger fell off. And I was like, that's cool. And then he deflected the laser with mirrors, and after doing that, he was able to pick up the laser lights, and he used it like a dual-sided lightsaber. So that was pretty cool. Then the host or MC came on, which his name was Helge Toon. Whoa! Yeah, I know, it was so cool. Um, oh, hold on, wait. Did I take? So, all right, dude, you look like Jigsaw's puppet. I mean, Lindsay Harvey. If you didn't know, I am now. No, I'm just kidding. Must have been a powerful laser. Says Double Trouble. Yeah, I think it was a green laser, but if you actually looked, hold on, I actually took. I'm sure. Like I'm not. As I said, I wasn't allowed to like, or at least I wasn't gonna go against the wishes of not recording, but I did take screenshots. So hold on, let me see if I can pull up those screenshots now, and I can show you. Oh yeah, Gala Show. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Let's do this. Anyway, Lindsay Harvey says, "Dude, you look like Jigsaw's puppet." I'm like, "Thank you." And then Double Trouble says, "It must have been a powerful laser." Yes. And Lindsay Harvey says, "Where's your tricycle?" It's upstairs. No, guys, we're not following our friend Lindsay Harvey. Lindsay Harvey, variety gamer, but is also a magician. So, okay, this is not This is maybe not the best image, but you know what? We're gonna do it anyway. So let me show. Now I have to show. Let me see here. What is this? 01. Yeah, here. Oh, hold on. I got to change the position of this. So as you can tell, this is obviously me and the taking a screenshot of the video, but this is, hold on, do you guys see? Okay, yeah, so this is him, and then this is the laser, and then here's the hanger that he hung his coat on. So that's pretty cool. Thank you. You're welcome, Lindsay Harvey. Pinecone says, "Did you hear the Sword of the Sea news?" Sword of the Sea? No. What's the Sword of the Sea news? Is that something I should look up right now, Pinecone? Hold on. We're gonna Sword of the Sea. Like the video game? 2025 adventure game from Giant Squid creators Abzu. I liked Abzu. And the Pathless. It's a game that won a Grammy. Oh! I didn't know. Yeah, I don't follow award shows. um, so, all right. Let's see. Next up is so next Helge Toon. He's a I guess he started off as like a close-up card magician. We did listen to a lecture from him earlier in the convention, but he had a lot of callbacks to how much he hates mentalists, even though I think that's just a joke. He probably doesn't really hate mentalists. But he tried to make some physics jokes that didn't make sense, but then he admitted, "Oh yeah, I don't understand what these words mean," and it was like, and I was like, "Oh okay." um, but yeah, here is. Hold on now. Uh, oh no, that's not him. Wait, where is? Oh, all right. Well, we'll have to come back to him later. Okay. Um, GipsonLens says that's the correct thing to do, Nom. All right. You know, guys, if you didn't know, Bert, a.k.a. GipsonLens, is now a movie reviewer. Mostly unofficially on his stream, but everybody is ecstatic about the thumb dance. Which, if you have GipsonLens emotes, there's actually thumbs up and thumbs down animated emotes. So here's the thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs down, thumbs up, and like, yeah, like I don't care what critics say about movies. I'm always curious about what the heck GipsonLens thinks about a movie. Let's see. Punkcoin says, "Me neither, but someone told us in ZD's stream." Oh, okay, all right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I might be. Well, now that you mentioned it, I'm probably gonna look it up later. But yeah, and Mega Ran didn't win for Best Children's Album. I mean, that would make sense if Mega Ran did win the Best Children's Album. I think uh, I would first, I guess, question it, but then I'd be like, all right, well, that's cool because Mega Man's cool. Oh, dang, that's a real bummer. Wait, did Mega Ran actually create a Best Children's Album or? Oh, he was nominated. What? I didn't know. That's so cool. No way. All right, that's awesome. Well, okay, that's unfortunate that he didn't win, but I'm so glad that he was nominated then. And so was Tori Amos. Oh, excellent. I know you're a huge fan of Tori Amos. So she also didn't win. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a shame. All right. So the first actual act was and I didn't know how to pronounce his last name, but his name was Michael Blomecki, and he did an act called the Cups and Balls, but with grabbers. So if you take a look, so it was him with two short crane claws, and it was a very funny act. So if anybody didn't know what the cups and balls are, it's like this ancient trick. It goes back so long, and you just use cups and you use little objects that are usually ball shaped. And honestly, the actual main routine that somebody would do isn't really a secret that much anymore. But the way that Michael did some of his magical vanishes and reappearances, the fact that he was not using his hands kind of eliminates like how do you then do the magic in this way without using your hands? And so it's either extra hard and oh, and this act was super funny too because halfway or maybe not even halfway, like a third of the way through his act, one of the claw arms broke, and so he could still use it to clamp one hand so he could pick up a cup, but the balls were too small, and so he had to like readjust to clamp it manually by pressing the clamps together. And I'm like, dude, if he's practiced the muscle memory to do all the sleights with these claw arms, and then having to readjust because now he can't use the claw, I'm like, that's insane. Like, but this one was funny, and he had a funny act too. Um, let's see, and this was Raphael Scholten, and this particular act, he didn't speak at all. It was done to like a bunch of different music at first. Pinecone says, to be fair, I may have gotten Sword of the Sea mixed up with Sea of Stars. Now I remember what game Sword of the Sea is. Oh, okay. All right. So see, I know what Sea of Stars is because I played that on stream and I loved it. And I've never played Sword of the Sea, and I didn't know what that was. So that makes way more sense. All right, thanks for clearing that up. So yeah, I would recommend a Sea of Stars as well if you guys hadn't seen hadn't seen. All right, cool. That was why I brought it up here. Now it makes sense, and I'm like, oh, okay. All right, yeah, yeah. Sea of Stars, excellent game. Love that game. If you have not played Sea of Stars and you like RPGs, it's like a JRPG, but it's like shorter. It's not like 50, 60 hours. You can beat the game in like 30 hours. Um, and if you want to skip all the extra stuff, but the thing is, you do want to do all the extra stuff because it gives you very important story stuff in the game, Sea of Stars. So, okay, thanks for clarifying that because I'm like, oh, okay, I guess there's this new game I have to check out. But no, okay, Sea of Stars. I have already checked it out. All right, excellent. But I did note Sword of the Sea, so I will have to I will have to see what pun intended. I will have to see what that game is all about. Okay, where were we? Oh, Raphael Scholten. So he had a so this particular act is like he put it to different music, and so if anybody, it starts out with like a 1920s like lo-fi electro swing. So if anybody knows what electro swing was, I was into it like last year for like 3 months. And I listened to like a ton of electro swing, but now it was like, okay, I don't really listen to that much electro swing anymore, but I still like it. But then he started tap dancing, and his act has like a bunch of meta stuff related to the music. But he every time he opens a newspaper, a bunch of confetti flies out. He makes a glove vanish, which apparently it should be on his hand, but it's gone. He has a tie on right now, but then that tie disappears later, and then he produces a tie. Like um, then it switches to like lo-fi jazz music, and then he's doing like ball manipulation stuff. So if you've ever seen a magician, um, we call like the manipulation acts where like he makes them disappear, reappear, change colors, that kind of stuff. Um, and so that was cool. And then it switches to like a somber classic piano, which you guys know, like some of the streams that I hang on. I like piano, so I like listening to piano. But he did a card manipulation. He did a bunch of like massive productions. So like you produce like a bunch of playing cards from your hand, and then you drop them and you lose them, um, and then he had more newspapers with confetti, just every like, and then it switched over to like big band swing jazz, and he had like sparkle flares. I thought it was like almost fire, and I wasn't sure if they were allowed to have fire like in on the stage, but and uh, and then he did like a cane production, so he makes like a cane just appear like in his hands. And then he had a newspaper with confetti, of course, at the end that said "the end" at the end of his act, and I was like, "All right, that's very artistic. It's very nice. I enjoyed the music, and I appreciate like people who do manipulation. Manipulation acts are intended to be completely visual, and the story, like he's trying to weave this story about like um, how he's being exposed to different types of music, and it changes like his tricks and like the mood, but otherwise, like if you don't read into that, there isn't that much of a story. It's all like visual. So, but yeah, if you like that kind of magic, look up like manipulation, like manipulation magic. So, the next act also wasn't so much magic, but it is basically like magic. So this is Celia Munoz. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but I'm not sure. But she is a Spanish opera singer, and I didn't know that these kinds of acts existed. But she is a ventriloquist. She's like an opera singer, like an acclaimed opera singer up through 2020, and then she got bored during the pandemic because I guess all of her events got canceled. You know, being a musician, but she started picking up ventriloquism. But as we all think of ventriloquism, and actually going into this act, I was thinking, is she going to have a puppet that speaks? And this is super unique, and I don't know if this act or any of her other acts are anywhere else, but um, none. She doesn't have any puppets, and the thing that she does is that she will make other voices or sing opera, and it literally doesn't look like her mouth is moving at all. And I'm like, holy crap, that's crazy. She has a microphone like attached, like you can see the microphone attached to her face, like here. But what she did was she pretended to turn radio stations, but actually the radio stations that you would hear were her singing different songs. Like she would do like a one song here, she would do like some voices like a radio show, and then she would but those were all the ventriloquist parts, and she was actually doing all these things. And then she would even do she was flossing and brushing her teeth while she was doing some of this, like listening to the radio, but she was still making those voices. And I'm like, you could almost barely perceive that like some part of her mouth was moving to make some of those voices, but I'm like, it looks insane. Like this woman just must be so talented. Um, and then she was doing like, so here's, if you want to look her up, this is her name. And she was doing like bits where she was talking on the phone herself. So like the only parts that weren't like her own voice was like the cell phone ringing, and then she picks up. And I think there was like some static on like one of the radio channels or something. But so like those are like the only two things I don't think she did her voice. But everything else, like the other voices and stuff, and I was just like, wow. And then she did this thing bit where she was going to the movies, so she sits down and then she does like some fake dialogue from the movie, and then she eats ice cream. This is the screenshot that I chose to take, was while she's eating ice cream and she's speaking, and then she's applying lip gloss, blowing her nose, and drinking water, and she's still doing these voices like ventriloquism style. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. Like, so, all right. Next, during the gala show was Jason Latimer. So this is that guy that I mentioned at the beginning that was doing the laser. Yeah, so cool. I know, right? So cool. Um, so I wanted to look to see if Celia had other stuff, but so yeah, this is Jason Latimer. So he's the guy at the beginning with the laser thing, but this is his magic act. So he does cups and balls as well. I'm like, oh, another cups and balls act. But I'm like, wait. So Penn and Teller did the cups and balls with clear cups. But he also does it with clear cups. But this act is different in that he doesn't achieve the exact same effect. So what he's doing here is that you can see into the cups, but actually as he moves the cups around, he never really he very rarely picks them up to do what we in the business call shoving the ball under the cup or removing it, which is how you would traditionally do it with the cups and balls. As he's moving the cups around, they just appear and disappear from inside the cup. And I'm like, how the hell is he doing that? Um, Astro Art says, this is one of my I assume that's you meant earliest magic memories, doing the cups and balls or watching Jason Latimer, because I guess both would be crazy depending on the context. But yeah, so like this act was just insane to watch. He didn't do like a verbal. There was no act there, but he was um, like it was done to music. I think it was like techno music or something like that. Oh, seeing this transparent cups and balls on YouTube. Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. That's right. So yeah, if you look up Jason Latimer and just do like cups and balls, you'll find this. So he first starts off with a 3 glass production. So he has an empty box. Whoops. Hold on. I think I accidentally clicked a thing. Okay. Um, and then he produces all 3 glasses, and then he starts with a single ball, and the ball moves from glass to glass without picking them up, and then he makes the 3 balls appear, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then at the end, the finale. So in the normal cups and balls, you have the balls jumping from cup to cup, and then you shove like at the end of the standard one, you'll shove like fruit, like apples and potatoes or kiwis into the cups. Here he shoves 2 big clear contact juggling balls, and I'm like, where did those come from? And he's moving things so fast, and he basically never brings the cups to the edge. And I'm like, so I am legitimately baffled by how this one's achieved. Um, okay, so next up we had Raphael Scholten, and this time he's speaking as though he is a lecturer. This was the same guy that did like the music dance number from like 1920s with like the electro swing and that kind of thing. Um, so he starts here with making confetti appear in a wine glass, but a couple of pieces of confetti remain there. He spins the wine glass, and those pieces of confetti get bigger and bigger, and it becomes round. He pours it out, and that's an egg. And then he proves that it's a real egg by cracking it open right on stage. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But the way that he's speaking, he's talking about like people seeing wonders of the world, things like that. He has somebody sign a tissue, but it's actually like a silk tissue. So he gets somebody from the audience to sign it. Somebody named Karen. Her initials were KS, and as he puts them into his hand, that the tissue, it those become seeds, and seeds start falling out of his hand. And he had this tree, as you can see, like behind him over here. He had this tree, but then as soon as he made the seeds appear, the tree started growing a little bit. Now it didn't grow like a lot, but maybe it increased like a few inches in height, but it actually fanned out a lot. But inside, so it just looked like a green tree, but then you saw it bearing fruit, and by the end of it being done growing, there was 3 oranges, and he pulls out one orange. He cuts it open and gives it to a spectator and says, "Yes, inspect it. It's real fruit." And I'm like, "Wow, that's cool." And then he pulls out another fruit. He cuts out an orange. I think it was an orange tree, by the way. And then he opens it up, and there's a white enlarged silk in right in there. And he pulls it out, and it is the signed silk from our spectator Karen KS initialed. And I'm like, that's nuts. I don't know how he got this signed silk into a real orange to be in the tree to then appear. I only have a theory, which maybe might seem way more plausible now in my head, which I'm not going to share. But still pretty cool. But between this one and the music one, I think this one I like the storytelling better. But between I actually enjoyed the music of the other one, so that's that's how that works out. Um, and then we had Celia back for a second act as well. And so this one was interesting. So once again, this is the same um, opera singer that did the ventriloquism, but this act actually was her under the guise of performing a séance, and she gets an interrupting phone call, which is that cell phone that she's holding up, and she's having both sides of the conversation. But one side is she's speaking naturally, normally, and then the other side she's ventriloquisming, if that's a word. And I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. It's like, all right, that's awesome. And then there's jokes about the dead opera singer that they want to talk about, uh, and then the crowd. Then yeah, she had the crowd chanting, and then the opera singer started to sing. The ghost of the dead opera singer started to sing, and she was doing ventriloquism to make that come through the mic as like a disembodied voice. And then she bit an apple, smoked a pipe, like pretended to smoke a pipe. She actually bit the apple though, and then she was taking a shot of. It must have been juice, but who knows if it could have been alcohol or something. But then she took a shot, all while still doing the opera singing through the ventriloquism, and I'm like, that's nuts. So, and then at the end, the ghost takes possession of Celia, and so she's now singing opera as though she's the ghost in the body. And then at the end, you know, she's released by the ghost, and I'm just like, that's a cool act. So, um, and then let's see. Next up, I'm not sure if I spelled this guy's name correctly, but it would be in Korean anyway. Um, oh no, sorry. This is Helge Toon. Sorry, he was the host and the MC. So he would actually come up and do in between each act and either make some jokes or kill some time. Actually, at this point in the show, where he did like his the first piece of magic, because he was just talking before and making jokes, but and so yeah. So this was hanging coins. If you know are familiar with the hanging coins trick, he basically takes coins, makes them vanish by hanging them invisibly around him, and then he plucks them off, and they appear. Okay, and now, sorry. So this was not the Korean guy. Next one. I don't know why it's taking so long for my pictures to scroll. This is Lee Ye-dong, or at least that was what he was called, and he did a manipulation act with feathers and cards, and he was so the music that was playing was very slow and somber, and I was like, most manipulation acts that I've seen are all like fast-paced, upbeat music, and this was like the opposite of that. So is a little bit interesting and refreshing to see like a different take on manipulation. And some of the things he was doing, he had to do slow, and I'm like, whoa, doing that kind of thing would be easier if you just did it faster. So it just shows like how much talent it takes for him to do this manipulation thing, doing it very slow. Um, but yeah, he had feathers changing to packets of cards, cards changing to feathers. Um, I think that during this act there might have been a snafu, but he recovered very quickly because he's doing it to the music, so he basically has to keep pace. But because the whole act is like slower than a typical manipulation act, in my opinion, maybe it wasn't too hard for him to recover. So, but yeah, the thing that he's holding in his right hand right now, that's a fan of cards, and most of the time when they're doing manipulations like this, after they do the fan with the cards, this is a circle fan. He will basically drop them, and they all drop. Some people think that like fans like this, there might be like strings connecting everything, but a lot of the times, like professional magicians who are like doing this for the show, they're like, "Oh yeah, let me prove to you this is not a thing." Drop it. All the cards just fly separately, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a hard thing to do." um, and then the final act, which was more of like not a single act, was oh wait, this is Helge Toon doing another trick later. This one was Jason Bishop, and he did like 3 or 4 tricks. So he first brought out his assistant Kim. So Jason Bishop and Kim, she appeared on a TV screen in an empty box, and then she appeared in the box after they moved the TV screen. And then he referenced Harry Chapin songs, so like "Cats in the Cradle" and "Mr. Tanner." For anybody who's familiar with those songs or musicians. He cut Kim into multiple parts, and I think there was actually a snafu also during this act as well, and it was way more overt. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure. And then actually, after he did that performance, he's like, doing that on Broadway, like hundreds of shows. That was the only time that I ever messed up. And I'm like, oh, okay. At least he feels comfortable. He could tell the magicians that. And I was like, oh, okay, that was a mistake, but it was super cool. And then let's see, he had a handkerchief trick where he did coins across, but it was into a shot glass under a Pilsner glass under a white handkerchief. And he did it like 3 times. And I'm like, also, I still don't understand. And he did a jail cell window penetration. So they brought out a jail cell window with like 4 metal bars. He had spectators come up to inspect the bars, and then he stood behind it, and then he put like a blanket over it, and then he shoved himself through the bars. And we were like, what? How does he do that? Shove himself through the bars? I think I have an idea of how that one's done, but we won't discuss that. And then the last trick was one with a cute dog, which is the dog that he's holding onto right now. And he placed the dog, whose name is Gizmo, vanished in a box as it was dismantled. And the joke was that, oh, this might give the method away. That was just dog number 97. Everybody laughed, but we all knew that that's not how, especially now. Like, I think animal cruelty would not be tolerated in any and all of Magic. But they ended up reproducing the dog, Gizmo, and Kim in an empty box. And there we go. And that was the end of the gala show. So, there we go. All right. Excelente. Cool. We made it through that one. Once again, the queue is empty if anybody else wants to um, request any tricks. Seeing this transparent cups and balls. Oh, yeah, that's right. We read that. Well, thank you, Kylie, for the claps, Feld and Kane. Um, let's see. So basically, my set consisted of like 4 or 5 tricks during the show today. So the gig was me and like a couple other magicians doing magic in the cocktail lounge before the comedy show. And I got there early, met up with a bunch of people. I ended up performing for like a lot of different groups of people. We had really good rapport, me and the groups, and I was able to help introduce like the other magicians, or like say, hey, there's multiple of us, so if you see us and you want to see some magic. And I know that I think I got a lot of good feedback, and my magician friends also had a good time. I ended up giving out a bunch of business cards. I saw someone that I performed magic for there last year, and I was like, I saw him, and I'm like, "Hello, how are you doing? Were you here last year?" And he was like, "Yes." And so were you. And I'm like, "Yes." So it was so cool to see somebody there that recognized me, and like we have no other connection except that we met at that same event last year. And so um and I did write notes during this oh, it's on my phone because I did not send it to myself officially. I just noted. But after performing magic, and then we got a chance to sit in on the show. So first we had Kevin, the MC. So he broke it down. He warmed everybody up. And then we had Peter. So he is one of the autistic community that was doing stand-up comedy that night. And his act, I could completely understand and get into Peter's act because he talked about being a nerd, and he was like, "Oh yeah, there's words for this in Japanese," and I'm like, "Oh, I know what the word for like nerd is in Japanese," and so I was like following along. I'm like, "Man, he and I would get along." Um, but he actually taught the crowd, like he taught the audience some Japanese. Um, the next act, his name was Ethan, and he made a bunch of jokes about McDonald's because his last name is McBride, and so he made a bunch of jokes about, well, what would his wife's like? What if his wife's name was McGroom and stuff like that? Um, and what would they call their kids? McNuggets. And it's like, so that was great. And then, and Ethan was also one of the autistic comedians performing tonight from the local community, and then also the next comedian, his name was Noah. He had lots of one-liner puns. If you like puns, they were just all in Noah's act. And he is also the one of the autistic comedians performing tonight. Then we had Andrew R, and I just had to put the last initial because there's another Andrew. So, but he had a bunch of jokes, and the ones that I remember were all math ones. But he would say like, "What's 1 plus 1?" Everybody would be like, "2," and he'd be like, "No, wrong. Let me show you." And he goes and draws 1 plus 1, and then he tells us what it is. But he basically draws it in a way it's like, "What's 1 plus 1?" 2. No, let me show you. Draws, and he says 1 plus 1 is equal to window, and he shows you the window because 1 plus 1. Yeah, and he does this for 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 3 times 3, and just like it is hilarious. Then after that, we had an act from another Andrew. So not only were there two Andrews, but they're both literally next to each other. Andrew F. And he's the first comedy magician. So he's actually the director of the guy who puts together this whole event, I believe, for fundraising. And so he did a bunch of jokes, but he had a rope cut. So there's a rope cutting where the rope just restores itself. He does a multi-card gag where it's like, I bet you I predicted the card that you were thinking of. What card were you thinking of? And then he flips over the card. It's literally a card with all 52 cards on it. And then there's this baby picture gag thing, which it's kind of like a mentalism trick. So I don't do mentalism, but then after that we had Doctor, I think Sydney. I didn't actually catch the name, but he's African, and he would tell stories, and he would talk about like cultures, and he earlier in his set he basically asked if he could do white people jokes, and I'm like, that's funny. And and then our headliner was Sky Sands, which I hadn't met until tonight, but um, he had a lot of fast, self-deprecating, awkward comedy jokes, but then he did some magic as well. He made a deck of cards appear in a paper bag, and then he did a prediction trick where he was able to guess like a bunch of different things. He did a card to impossible location, and then he did like a Coke bottle gag where he was like, there's a Coke bottle, there's a Coke bottle. And then at the end, the Coke bottle vanishes. He pulls out a cup of wine, and then he crumples up the bag with the bottle in it. So, yeah, there you go. And that is the comedy show summary for Stand Up for Autism 2026. Ad. All right. Let me know when back. I know I didn't do that much magic tonight, so um, and actually I'm thinking about ending back from ads. Ads. All right, excellent. Thank you for letting me know you guys are back from ads. I know I didn't do that much magic tonight. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to see more magic, you can request. Feel free. Um, I did also before the show, while I was doing my walk around in the cocktail room, I met a couple, and they were nerdy geeky as well. But not only that, so they liked board games. They knew what Twitch was. Like normally when I meet people, I have to explain what Twitch is, and they were like, oh yeah, we know what Twitch is." I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then, and actually, I'm not sure if that was who we saw earlier in chat, um, but they were also, so they started, as they were talking, they started signing, and I'm like, "Oh, I could recognize like the girl was finger spelling," and I'm like, "Hey," and then I was able to say, like, say, "Hey, my name is Nam," and it's like, okay, I'm trying to like pull out these words that I don't normally use because I'm not like an interpreter. Unlike, so the other magician that I was doing a lot of the magic with, his name's Brendan, and he is actually a sign language, American Sign Language interpreter. Interpreter, I think is the way you say that, but So, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, or no, remember, yeah. So, I'm trying to remember my sign, like, so I'm just like trying to pull out these random words that I remember from when I. So, full disclosure, for anybody who didn't know, I went to a local university around here, and on the campus there is the National Technical Institute for the Deaf. And so, for me, going to college around here, there was a lot of uh, deaf or hard of hearing students, and it would be not uncommon to see people signing around, finger spelling, and that kind of thing, whether they were deaf, hard of hearing, or even hearing, because that's one of the best ways to interact with them. Uh, I I picked up a lot of it from this thing that we called No Voice Zone. So it was like a free um, like seminar or whatever they held weekly just in the dorms to try and just get people acquainted. But the reason why I wanted to pick up a lot of it was because I there was this attractive deaf girl that I wanted to talk with, and so that was the whole motivation. But then obviously when things didn't go out well, because if you know my wife, which actually you guys probably wouldn't know my wife, but my wife is not hard of hearing or deaf. I met her years later. But so after I found out that that didn't work out, I just kept, because I found it useful when I worked at the video store. If you didn't know, I worked at Blockbuster Video, which is now basically dead unless you live in Bend, Oregon, which is the last Blockbuster. So there you are. But yeah, that was a cool, fun interaction that I had tonight as well. Oh, so it was good because hopefully giving out those business cards. Hopefully, I get like a gig or two from them. And yeah, one of the tricks actually that I quote unquote messed up tonight. Actually, let's go ahead and do that one. So I actually messed. Now I did it like maybe 8 times successfully, but I did mess it up once. Um, so let me just throw that in here, and I'll do it with the aces. But it was only because I messed up the order in which I wanted to do the aces. Or when I do this trick, it doesn't have to be the aces. I try and use whatever card they signed for the last trick. But we have the four aces here, and what I want to do is I want to turn them all face up. But if I was to hand them to you, uh, and you would just turn one face up, it might look like that, but that's not magical, so I'm not allowed to do it that way. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the packet and give it a magical twist. Now, this deck design is awesome for the twist because like I can hold it in the middle, and if I twist it, oh yeah, look at that. Now that will turn up one of the aces, in this case the ace of hearts. And now don't break your gaze, this is the part that's going to get people. I'm going to hold the packet, give another magical twist. I'll make sure that the twist gets on camera. That ace of hearts will turn itself face down, but the ace of clubs will turn itself face up. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? Now if I hold the packet, give another magical twist, ace of diamonds will turn itself face up. And then, of course, what we have here is we're going to need to do one more, but the last card I don't think really listens to us because it's the ace of spades. But let me show you that all 1, 2, 3, 4 cards are face down. Even if I give it a magical twist, it doesn't want to turn itself face up because, yeah. And at this point, I would ask the spectator, hey, can you go ahead and hold the cards in your hand like this? And then I would ask somebody else to snap their fingers or something. And then when the snap happened, I would tell the person who's holding them, go ahead and spread the cards out in your hands right now. And they would spread and they would see that the ace of spades has listened to them to turn face up. And that was the trick I messed up, not because I did anything wrong. I literally just swapped the order. So like you guys could tell that I know the order when I say the hearts, clubs, diamonds, and spades. I messed up the order. One time. Every other time it worked out fine. Just that one time. So We still make mistakes, but that the mistake I made was passable. Like it's not. I would not consider that like a real mistake, but that was the one I messed up in real life today. Thank you kindly for the claps. Double triple Felden Kane. All right. So, full disclosure, I am thinking about ending stream soonish, maybe like 20 minutes, because I still need to take a shower, get out of these clothes, get into my pajamas. Number one. Number two, uh, I technically don't have to rush to get a magic trick up for tomorrow on my YouTube because normally I like to get a magic trick up on Mondays for Magic Mondays. But since the new year has started, I haven't been as strict, and because I'm focusing on doing the magic elsewhere. But I'm thinking about doing a Super Bowl themed magic trick. And if you guys didn't know, Super Bowl is next weekend, and this would be the only week that I could do it and have it be meaningful because it will not work out after the Super Bowl. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can spend a little bit of time to create a Super Bowl magic trick and see how it goes, because I want it to go up probably tomorrow for the week. And I guess if I don't get it tonight, then at least I could do it tomorrow. But like that's the plan. But I wanted to have some time to think about it, so that's the other reason. So let's go ahead and do last call. So if anybody wants to see any more magic, feel free to request. And I know we did a lot of talking about magic and magical things and comedy things. And I'm not gonna lie, being in the suit gives me a little bit more energy because I don't feel like I'm in relax mode yet. Oh, I almost forgot. There were some things that were in my pocket too. Hold on. Oh yeah, there were things from the gig, and I'm like, I wasn't sure if I needed to bring them, but I brought them anyway. So, oh yeah, we can see. So here's the deck of cards that I brought to the comedy show gig tonight, and I kept all the cards because it's a volunteer charity gig. But we had some signatures. So let's see how many we got signed tonight. So we got that one. That was signed by two people. This was signed by somebody with a smiley face. This one was signed by somebody. Let's see. This one was signed by somebody. This one was very signed by somebody. Most of the time, I tell people to write right across the middle, big letters. Some people listen, and then some people don't. And then sometimes I do miss telling them to sign in big letters. Just sign it right in the middle. But yeah. So if you, by the way, if anybody's seeing this and I saw you in real life tonight, thank you for your attention. Thank you for signing cards. And here are all the signed cards that we got today. So there we go. Boom. Oh yeah. So after the show, hung out with my magician buddies for a little bit. I met Sky Sands. I got a selfie with him. Hold on. Actually, let me pull up a couple of images that we got here. I can show those on stream. Okay, so here's a picture of everybody that performed in the show tonight in the comedy show. Actually, let me. Yeah, I can drop this in the Discord later. I'll probably also share it on my Instagram too. Um, let's see what else here. And then I think we got a couple pictures with the magicians. So let's see. Here's the first set of magicians. So obviously me. This is Andrew, the guy who's also the comedy magician. This is Vinny, and then that's Brendan. And then we got let me see here. And then there's me and Brendan, and then this is Professor Rem. We call him Professor Rem. Barney of the Rubble, thank you. So, welcome, man. How's it going? And thank you for trying to request Mustang Sally. I don't even know what that is. Oh yeah, let me eat this heat map though. Delicious. And then let's see here. And then I did get a selfie with Sky Sands. Uh, right here. There it is. Me and Sky Sands. I didn't realize, but Sky Sands is local to here, so. All right. I feel compelled. Let me look up to see what Mustang Sally is. And let's see what that. Did you get a selfie with Houdini? No, I did not. So it was Houdin don't. Let's see. Mustang Sally. It's a song, rhythm and blues, written first by Mac Rice in '65. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with this song. Who didn't? Ah, yes. Who don't? Don't T. All great names. All great names. All right, and I did also get a magic trick from Professor Rem. I'm not gonna take it out, but the trick is called. Let me see. Does this reveal anything? No, not really. Okay, so here we go. Surreal Killer is the trick, and it's a John Bannon trick. So I was given this today, so perhaps you guys may see this in the future, but I didn't even have time to shower and change into pajamas, so I obviously didn't have time to look at this. So before stream, I like who didn't. That's probably a good one. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and figure out what I want to do for a finale trick, and then we'll probably close out the stream from there. So let's go ahead and do. You know what? I think I want to do this one because I haven't done this one for a little bit, and I didn't get any practice with it because it's like a relatively longer trick at the convention. So I didn't really show anybody this one. But we'll do Picasso aces. If you eat breakfast, you are a serial killer. Oh, hold on, wait. Yeah, you're gonna get this one. There you go. That was for you, Barney of the Rubble. If you eat breakfast, you are a serial killer. Who did it? Says Double Trouble. Yeah, who did it? That would be so who did it? Houdini, right? So he would be the primary suspect in a thing. You should change your name to Crazy Amazing. Uh, thanks, Barney. Maybe one day, if I entertain a name change, I'll take it under consideration. 10 out of 10. Wait, I was expecting a sound alert and I didn't hear it. My own stream is trolling me. The bot was like, "Ah, I got the command." And I'm not going to play it for you. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm just going to call out I expected it. And then stream's like, "Well, there it is." Barney of the Rubble said, "Oh, well, it's meant to be American Asian, but it was so you can read it like you did too." Oh, oh, I see. American Asian. Oh, okay, okay, I see. I'd probably spell it different, although I've noticed that the crazy Asian with three N's, it's too long for some things, and I'm like, oh, I don't like how that displays because it normally like either truncates it or it line wraps it. So But anyway, let's go ahead and do this. All right, I'll throw that into the queue. All right, we'll do this. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much for listening to the rest of the MagiFest recap. Me talking about my magic gig tonight at the comedy club and describing the entire comedy show. Thank you so much for anybody who interacted with the stream. Thank you so much, whether you chatted in chat, requested a trick, played a sound alert, clicked on the heat map. Thank you guys so much. Um, Thank you for the stream. Thank you for the stream, my good sir. Thank you kindly, Feldon Kane. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, Barney. And thank you, everybody else. I'd also like to thank so much to ZD Major 7 for the raid today. Thank you so much, ZD. Um, let's see. Thank you so much to anybody who is lurking, because magic is one of those rare art forms where if I'm practicing magic at home, there's no magic happening. The magic has to happen in your mind. And if anybody believes that any of this is sorcery or black magic or any of the such, it is none of those things. It is all sleight of hand and performance. And I mean, if nothing exemplified, I showed how to do a trick tonight. I mean, I didn't actually teach it, but I showed the inner workings of one trick that I mess up all the time, and I've revealed how it happens all the time for that one trick. But also, thank you. Thank you to the mods, guys. You're not following our friends and mods, Chan the Magic Man and GipsonLens. Please check them out as well. They are both streamers in their own right as well. GipsonLens is a pianist and composer and game developer, so check him out. And Chan the Magic Man, Chan the Magic Man is another magician, also streams magic on Twitch. Give him a follow, catch him on Magic Mondays. If you catch him other times, he's playing community games, retro games, Grand Theft Auto. So definitely check him out. Barney of the Rubble says, "That's my new bot. I will be releasing that does like no others. I have gone to the point of even having live notifications capability. Awesome. That sounds sweet." Oh, is that the link that you sent? Okay, hold on. Let me go to here. Streamweaver. Welcome to Streamweaver. Oh, okay. I was wondering what that was. I clicked on it, it just looked like an image of a thing, and I'm like, what? What's this? I don't know. Okay, but now that makes sense. All right, thank you, Barney of the Rubble. Cool. I'll have to check that out, see what it's all about. It's just a picture, but it gives you an idea of the look and feel. Yeah. Yes, I realized it was just an image, and I was like, oh, okay, because the link it just says it was basically it's an imager. Um, okay, where was it? Oh yeah. So, do you code in Golang? No, I'm not familiar with Golang. Um, so right now I'm learning Kotlin to make an Android app, but otherwise, yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah. If anybody wants to see more of me and I'm not around, feel free to check out my YouTube. I have over 300 magic tricks on my YouTube. Over 350 magic tricks on my YouTube channel, and I'm very close to 365 magic tricks. Once I do that, I might be able to do some shenanigans. Like here's a magic trick one every day. So we're getting pretty close to that. But I recently hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that's awesome. I also recently hit 1,000 followers here on Twitch, so that was a milestone. And I celebrated by performing every trick in the trick list. I did all 80 tricks, 81, and that took 4.5 hours. It was glorious, but I'm I'm bragging to all my magician friends now, and they're like, "What? How did you remember all of them?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just know them, I guess." And let's see what else. Oh, if anybody wants to hang out or chat with me, hopping in the Discord is probably the best way. Barney the Rebel says, "How come you only did 80 tricks?" Those are the ones that I remember, Barney. I can't remember all 300 because I've forgotten how I've done some of the other ones. Some of the tricks I've only done like once. I just practiced them for a day and then I haven't revisited them. There's a couple that I don't like that I did on my YouTube channel. Only 80s, says Barney. Oh, Barney. All right. Tell you what, Barney. My promise to you is that in 2026 there will be more tricks in my trick list. I'm going to add more tricks to my trick list. I don't know how many. I'm not making any promises on specific numbers, but you know that's how I get out of this situation. That's like saying only Chan's age. Like, all right. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah. Uh, thank the mods. YouTube, Discord. Oh yeah, and I have been streaming more like regularly, like throughout a week. I already told you that I'm going to be doing a stream during the day later this week. Um, to improve stream. So keep an eye out for that if you want to input, or you can just drop it in my Discord and I'll probably bring it up during that stream. So we shall see. So I need some bots. I probably need stream cord. I need all these things. So I want to get like ad announcements for when it's not just when it starts, but when it ends. That would be helpful. So here you go. Do do Metamucil keep you regular? For anybody who doesn't know, Metamucil is an old uh, I guess is it still around? I don't even know if it's still around, but it's a thing you take to keep your uh, bowels regular, I guess, just to put it plainly. All right. Let me also close out the trick list. I don't know, but you said regular. I know, I did. So I only have myself to blame. All right. Okay. All right. It is still around. Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks, Todd. Kyo Demon, welcome in. How's it? Just when I was going to put a trick in. Oh, Kyo Demon, is there a specific trick you wanted to request? I will do a trick for you, Kyo Demon. Guys, by the way, if you are not following our friend Kyo Demon, please give Kyo Demon a follow. Yeah, let me know which trick you want to do, or if you just want a random one, I will do a random one. Um, but yeah, give our friend Kyo Demon a follow. Felden Kane, thank you so much for the gigantic thumbs up. I don't know them, so not really. Okay, all right. So here, tell you what, we're gonna do this. Your oh, my least favorite? Oh, okay. All right, all right. So I can't do this one because this one is that's a funny question. This one is too similar to the one I'm gonna end with, but it's also one that I like. Okay, actually, let's see. My least favorite one. Hmm. Oh, there's this one that's okay. All right, I think I've got one. Out of all of these, I've actually thrown around the idea of removing this trick also from the trick list because I don't think I like it that much. But it's still here mostly because, um, wait, where is it? Oh no, where's the packet? I must have this packet somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay. Shefferstern, welcome in. How's it going? And thank you for doing another one. Oh yeah, no problem. My pleasure. As I said, I want like I don't. There's nothing like urgent for me to get to, but I was just thinking I had some other ideas and plans. But no big deal. I can extend. it's actually a funny request because I'm like, oh, I don't. Normally, somebody's always like, oh, can you show me your favorite trick, or show me your best trick, or show me your hardest trick. Nobody's really asked, show me a trick that you know and that you do, but is your your least favorite, which is actually an interesting request. I think probably out of all of these, I'm just gonna double check. But Shuffer Stern, welcome in. Good morning. Good to see you. How are you doing? Um. Oh yeah. Also, you know what? That was a great question, Q Demon. And also, I need to give you a badge. The fact that you have a 10 stream watch streak and I don't have a regular schedule posted up is probably A, means a lot, and B, how can I? You are a fellow disc golfer too. But guys, if you didn't know, Keo Demon is also a fellow disc golfer. Gotta keep them guessing. Yeah, I know. So, when I hopped into Q Demon's stream like one time, I forgot how we got on the topic of disc golfing, but then found out that he disc golfed, that I disc golf, and then we just chatted about disc golfing for like I don't know, what was it, like 15 or 20 minutes? But I was gonna leave because I was like, I was probably gonna have to take a shower or something or go to bed. I forgot what it was, but I only have 3 aces under my belt. I only have I only have one. So for anybody who doesn't know what an ace is, it's a hole in one in disc golf, and I only have one, but it was insane because okay, I'm just gonna take a moment to tell this story. So there's this one course, and if anybody doesn't know what disc golf is, it's basically you go to a park that has disc golf holes set up, and they're not like holes in the ground like regular golf. They're these metal baskets, and they have chains coming down from them, and you're trying to throw your disc basically into the metal basket, and and you count the number of strokes that it takes you, the number of throws, basically. And so, if you've never done this before, I recommend because it's like a lower barrier to entry from golf, but it's very like relaxing because it's mostly like taking a walk while doing an activity. So, if you're not like try hard about it, that's basically how I enjoy disc golf. Um, but There's one time I was basically throwing from the tee, and I was just like, it's a little bit far. I can almost make it, and I whale it. And the discs in disc golf compared to regular frisbees are smaller, and they have regulation weights. So like they're in between like a certain number of grams. If it's too light or too heavy, it's not considered like a regulation disc. But I whale it, and I'm like, oh crap, it's gonna go over the the hole. But it happens to be underneath some trees. So QD, so Q Demon and I were just chatting about this, and so yeah, so Q Demon says it's a feeling for sure when you hit that chain on the first throw. I know, right? So here's the thing: I see my disc is going way higher, and I almost never throw like farther because I was like, man, I don't want to like lose a disc. And when you lose a disc in disc golf, you basically just have to go hunting for it. So whether you go have to look in the woods, you have to look in a muddy swamp or a marsh, or you just have to call the disc like lost and just give it up. But there's been many times where I've lost like an extra 20 to 30 minutes just looking for my disc or my friend's disc. Um, Always bring like an extra reacher or just like a selfie stick or like an antenna to just you know get extra reach and poke it out of a tree or something. But anyway, so I whale this disc and I'm like, oh, it's gonna totally miss. Oh man, it might hit the trees and go behind it. It hits a branch above it, and I'm like, oh, it's a bad throw. And then as it's falling, it literally falls into the chains and then into the basket. And I'm like, what? No way. And I'm like, there's one other person there watching. And it's like, dude, did you just, what? Like, it's just like crazy how ridiculous this throw was. And like how, just by sheer chance, it happened to hit this branch a certain way, falls down, happens to hit in and happens to fall in the basket. And I'm just like, that's crazy. So yeah, that's my story. Where was I? Oh yes, I was gonna put in my least favorite trick out of the trick list, which I've now decided on. Is probably this one. But it's like it's easy enough to do, but it's just so the normal presentation of this trick is like a bet. So let me do the normal, like what you're supposed to do with it. So it's this. Mind blown. I know, right? So that was the only time I got a hole in one. Every other time, even if I got really close, like I've hit the basket on a throw, but it's always been like 2 throws. So hit the basket and then get it in. Most other ones is like I'm usually like what's what's one above par normally? Is that birdie? Oh no, is birdie under par? I don't know the golf terms. I don't like regular golf. So okay, so this trick is called Color Monty, and it's like 3 card Monty, but in your hands. It's not like the one on the table. So we have 3 cards here, and I want you to keep track of the money card. But this one is a blue diamond. That's not the money card because this other card is also a blue diamond, and that's not the money card. And so the money card here is actually this red diamond. Okay, so I need you to keep track of the red diamond. So let's pretend we bet money each time, and each time that you guess incorrectly, you owe me $1, and if you guess correctly, I'll give you $1. Okay, and so now follow the red diamond. Now the question is, where's the red diamond? If you just saw what I did, I think a lot of people would probably say it's on the bottom. But no, I will just show you that that's not the card on the bottom. It's a blue diamond. And now, okay, well wait, if there's a blue diamond on the bottom, you must have kept the red diamond on the top. Well, if that's the case, I don't know if you could tell, but look, the top card is actually a blue diamond. And it's like, wait, if there's a blue diamond on the bottom and on the top, the red diamond must be in the middle. And no, that's incorrect because that's also a blue diamond. And so you just guessed where the blue diamond was, or where the red diamond was 3 times, and you were incorrect. So that's $3. Now, if you now accuse me, oh wait, I just saw 3 blue diamonds. There must not be any red diamonds. I'm like, no, 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 that's incorrect because now if I show you, here's the red diamond. Here's the money card. You're supposed to look for this one. Now, importantly, you would now guess, wait, wait, wait. If there's a red diamond on the bottom, there must be a blue diamond on the top. And I'm like, no, 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 that's also incorrect. So you owe me another dollar because that's a red diamond. And now, wait, wait, wait. If you are actually showing me a red diamond on the bottom and the top, there must be a blue diamond in the middle. I'm like, no, 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 that's also a red diamond. And so now you would owe me $6, I think, right? Yeah, WTF, says Q Demon. Okay, so here's the thing. Now some people might accuse me of using more than 3 cards. I'm like, oh no, 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 you just owe me another dollar because look, 1, 2, 3. There's only 3. And then now I say, okay, double or nothing. If you guess correctly, uh, you won't owe me anything. But if you guess incorrectly, you owe me $10. And so, but here, I'll give you a hint. All right. So look, I'm going to show you that this is a blue diamond and this is a red diamond. And if you can tell me what this is, then you walk away, not owing me anything, and we're square. But if you're wrong, it's $20. Give me a 20. So, anybody want to guess? I'm gonna let you know. Anytime you hear anybody performing something with the word Monty in it, you don't want to play it because the game's probably rigged. I'm gonna tell you now, it's rigged. So, most people usually guess, oh, okay, that's got to be a blue diamond, right? Right. And then other people they guess, oh no, no, that's a red diamond, right? Because what else could there be? Well, some people are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They get super sneaky. It's like, oh, it's a red and a blue diamond. And it's like, no, no, no. Wait, what happens when you mix red and blue together? It's a purple diamond. And it's like, no, 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 none of those things. Stern says king, and Felden Kane says sleight of hand. Keo Demon says it's a gren, which I think means it's a green. All right. So long story short, Keo Demon, you are actually correct, but it's not a green diamond. It's green dollar bills. And there we go. You win. So Keo Demon, you would be in a situation where you you wouldn't owe me anything, right? Well, because you just said it's green. You didn't say it was green diamond. So that's very important there. If anybody plays Magic the Gathering, you know how important the semantics are. I would say Stern knew where it was going. Didn't guess correctly. Happened to guess king. Keo Demon! Thank you so much for the gift sub. To Fredster. Felden Kane, thank you for the one. Oh. Okay. I see. All right. Well, guys, if you didn't know, when there's a hype train, we have to do magic as fast as possible. And so, let's go ahead and do it. Okay. So, first things first, we have 4 aces over here, and what we will do is we are going to go ahead and place them over here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to leave the ace of spades over here. We'll place the other 3 aces over here. Now we're going to go ahead and make sure that we get, I'm going to place 3 cards onto each pile, and let's go ahead and do that. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Now we're going to square up. Now I'm going to make these all jump, all these aces jump to be in the same pile by the end of the trick. So here we go. Boom. Did you see that? Because now if we look in this pile, there's no aces here. And if we take a look, well, we knew that the ace of spades was here, but okay, here's some other card, here's some other card, but actually, it actually made another card. In this case, the ace of diamonds hop from there to here. Okay, all right, so now let's go ahead and do this. Boom. I don't know if you can tell, but look, now if we I show you, none of the aces are here either, and we knew that the ace of spades was here, but actually, if I show you now, the ace of clubs has jumped down here. Now this last one, I don't know if you could tell, but look, it has jumped from there to here because, well, look, we have the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, the ace of diamonds, and of course the ace of spades. Now some people might have thought maybe there was some sleight of hand there. Let me do something a little bit visual so that you know. Let me go ahead and grab the ace of spades and place it here amongst this pile. If you were here, you could put your hand on that pile and just make sure that there's no possible way I could pull that ace of spades out. But all I have to do is tap your hand 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if you could tell, but look, I've now got the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, the ace of diamonds, and the ace of spades. And if you look underneath your hand, there's actually no aces. Okay, all right. Now, let's go ahead, and I just realized that okay, ad came in at the end of the trick, but I could still see the video. Awesome. Okay, great. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set aside the 4 aces. They're going to be our helpers, and I'm going to go ahead and have a card selected. Let's say, in this case, Chan the Magic Man signed Queen of Clubs, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and place Chan the Magic Man here, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab these cards, and let's go ahead and turn the aces face down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And here's the interesting thing. What if I was to wave my hand over each one of these? Okay, if I go 1, 2, 3, and I don't know if you saw that, but look, all those 4 aces have turned into 1 card. And if I fan this out, that 1 card has turned into 4 cards. And if I show you the 1 card, it is our selection indeed, the Queen of Clubs. And if I show you those other cards, these are our 4 helpers, the 4 aces. Now, if you were here, I could have you select one of these cards. Let's go ahead and have you, we could have a card selected. We'll just select any one, let's say this one. I'm gonna look away, turn my head, and then you would have a chance to take a look at it. Actually, it doesn't really matter if I see it because we're trying to go fast. So look, there it is. Checking the gaff meters, 4 of spades. Let's go ahead and place that back in the middle of the deck like this. And now, importantly, I'm going to go ahead and make the deck jump and spin around. So let's go ahead and here we go. Boom! I don't know if you can tell, but look, the deck is jumping around in my hands. Now, not only that, it actually jumped around the selection as well. Because now if I spread the deck, you'll be able to see that there's 1 card facing the opposite direction. And that 1 card happens to be the 4 of spades. Now, if we go ahead and lose the 4 of spades back in the middle of the deck, like let's say here, right? It's clearly not on the top, not on the bottom. It's just going somewhere in the middle of the deck. Okay, so but if I just go ahead and I shuffle a little bit here, I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle face up into face down cards. And if we go ahead and do this, I don't know if you can tell, but look, all of the cards are now being pushed into each other face up and face down, just like this. And now you can see how messed up this is, right? So we've got some face up cards with some face down cards, just like that. And here, we'll show you how really, so we have a back to a front over here. We have a front to a back over here. We have, well, I need to find another, so a back to a back, right? So this is really messed up. But actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and fix this because look, I don't know if you can tell, but now every single card is now facing in the same direction. Every single card except for one, and that one is, checking the gaff meter sign, 4 of spades. Okay, and now the hype train is over. And so we did get a bunch more magic in because of the hype train. Oh, and I did this one already, which now is on record for being my least favorite out of my tricks. So let me go ahead and thank everybody again. So thank you so much, Keo Demon, for the gift sub. Let me also find the Q Demon signed card just so I can thank you properly here. Q Demon signed 9 of spades. There we go. And then let's see here. And Felden Kane, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Felden Kane also has signed a card. The Jack of Clubs. And that kicked off the hype train. So thank you guys. And thank you kindly for the claps. Keo Demon, Felden Kane, Double Tribble, Schuffer Stern. And thank you for the Mind Blown. And it almost feels like I need to do a trick with Felden Kane and Keo Demon. Thank them for the hype train. So let's go ahead and do a trick with these 2 cards. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Thank you guys. Thank you guys kindly. All right. So let's go ahead and find something in here. Let's go ahead and pick, let me see. Let's pick the red Joker. And you know what? I will remove the other Joker just so that there isn't any confusion, even though they're signed. But, okay. So let's pretend that Keo Demon and Felden Kane are looking for a wild stream or wild time. We'll represent that by the red Joker. But what sometimes they will get is just a regular stream. So I'm going to take a card and place it in between the 2 of them, between Felden Kane and Keo Demon, right? The only thing that we know is that this card can't possibly be the wild time that they're looking for. And so I'm going to go ahead and, you know, they'll get lost in the Twitchiverse. Perhaps they raid out and we have no idea where they are. And so there we go. But importantly, you know, it's not near here. And now this is the wild time that they want, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the wild time does exist in the Twitchiverse. It may very well be my stream, is certainly possible. So let's go ahead and cut that into the middle of the deck. But now, sometimes they may be in luck. Perhaps I'm streaming, perhaps they saw my Discord message, perhaps they know where the wild time is to be had. And so, if I spread the deck, this part's not going to be surprising because Felden Kane and Keo Demon are here, and there is a card in between them. So they did find a stream to hang out in. But, could it possibly be the wild time that they were hoping for? It is indeed our red Joker, and it is the wild time that they wanted to find. Is that strange? That's strange. You're the best. Thanks, Q Demon. High five, Q Demon, says Felden Kane. Oh, if that's not a command, I need. So here's the funniest thing. I've made the high five command in other chats where I'm a mod, and I have not made my own high five command. That, you know, that's something that's gonna have to get rectified when I do my stream improvement stream. So, high five command. Okay. Yeah, lol. Skio Demon. Felden Kane says, I swear I stole that command from you. That's quite possible because I created it in some other chats where I'm a mod, and I did not put it in mine. uh, yes, I've made that. I forgot and all. Did I put it? I think I made it in Gibson Lens's stream for sure. I used to mod for another pianist, Hutch MD, but he doesn't stream anymore. So, but I think I made it in his stream too. So, okay, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for that hype train. That was unexpected. Okay, so let me go ahead and put. I'm gonna put color Monty. So I actually have a lot of these tricks in little packets over here. I think if you guys saw during my celebration stream that I have a ton of packets for a lot of these tricks. So, and I've made some for more. Okay. Thank you kindly for the claps, Schaffer Stern, and for the lol and the emotes, Q Demon and Felden Kane. All right. So, I was actually just thinking, I don't know what game I'm gonna play next because we just beat our last game, Chorus. It was a great game, by the way. I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna have to see, but I think I do love JRPGs, but we were talking in Felden Kane's stream. Todd was saying how he wasn't sure if playing JRPGs was the way um, to grow his audience. And if you really think about it, right, like I may enjoy JRPGs, but like if somebody comes in a stream and they missed a couple of streams where they didn't hear the story, or there's somebody like me who's like I haven't played these JRPGs but I want to, then it's like I can't really hang out there, right? Or it doesn't make sense because I'm not following the story because I missed some, and so I'm like, oh, so I got to figure out if that's something I want to do, or I can. So I made the exception for Sea of Stars because that's a short JRPG, uh, and so I was able to do that in like relatively fewer streams. But so that's kind of yeah. Yeah, Felden says it's tough for viewers to keep up, and I love them though. Yes, I also love them too. So that's kind of the problem, right? So, but anyway, so yeah, we'll see what the future brings. Depending on if I find employment or not, I might be quote unquote full time streaming, not like full time streaming. So like this week, I probably want to stream a bunch during the day, during the week. But Tuesday I have a gig, and tomorrow my kid's sick, and we don't want to necessarily risk sending her to school and like infecting everybody else. So maybe not the next 2 days during the day. But anyway, all right. So with that, thank you guys so much for the support and for that hype train. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Uh, a bunch of extra tricks at the end because I've already done the outro technically, but I guess we're gonna do the outro again. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who interacted with the stream, whether you requested a trick, chatted in chat, did a sound alert, sent emotes, any of those things. Thank you so much. Um, Thank you so much for the raid today, ZD Major 7. Thank you so much for the resub, Nalani Proctor. Thank you so much for the gift sub, Kyo Demon. Thank you so much for the bits from the hype train and the gigantic emotes. Um, Felden Kane and um, also Alstro Art, I think, did a gigantic emote, even though I'm not seeing that one. Oh, yeah, Alstro. There we go. Okay. So, all right. Uh, And guys, you're not following our mods and friends, Chan the Magic Man and GipsonLens, please give them a follow. If you want to see more of me, check out my YouTube. I'm also streaming a lot more, so if you want to see when I go live, because I don't have a schedule, uh, Discord is the best place. And then, all right, let me go ahead and do the finale. Oh crap, where did I put this deck? Did I put the deck away? Oh man, hold on. I gotta figure out where I put this deck. Because I prepared. Hold on, I prepared for the trick. Hype train. I put away. Where is it? You would expect that it is. I would expect it to be like around here. It should be like right here. I remember. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're gonna do the finale trick. And if anybody doesn't know, I don't like to mess up my last trick of the night. So if I mess this up, obviously we're gonna do another finale trick. But hopefully I don't, and that just would hopefully show that I'm consistent doing finale tricks. Fingers crossed. All right. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the suit today. So for filling anybody else in who hadn't been here earlier, so I'm in a suit because I had a gig earlier today, and then I got a free ticket to watch the comedy show that the gig was at, and then I hung out with some magicians after the show, and then I came home and I'm like, all right, I could take a really fast shower or not rush it and just stream. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna keep wearing what I'm wearing and just stream. So there we go. Hopefully you like it. All right, now let's hop to here. All right, first things first, I have a bunch of cards in my hand, and this is a blue back deck, but I don't want you to think that these aces came from this blue back deck. These aces came from a different deck, because now if I show you, they are red back. So we have the ace of hearts, we have the ace of clubs, we have the ace of diamonds, and we have the ace of spades. Now, with these four aces, what I want to do, it looks glorious. Thank you, Shuffer Stern. Uh, Now, what I want to do is I'm going to separate all of these aces, and I promise you that by the end of the trick, they will all be gathered together in the same place. And so here, let me just, we need the ace of spades. I'm going to put the ace of spades up here because a lot of the times magicians will use the ace of spades as the leader ace, and that's where they want everybody to end up, or all the aces to end up. So, okay, so here we go. We have, I'm going to go ahead and place 3 cards onto each pile like this. And then we will square up like so. And now, oh, I'm getting parched for some reason. Let's take a sip. By the way, if you've been sitting around and you've not hydrated for a bit, please feel free to hydrate. Oh, and to see an ad break. Oh, I should start a timer for this. Guys, I somehow came into a timer that I did not know that I had. And I've permanently set it to be 90 seconds. So now if I see an ad, I can press it. It'll only work for this because once I get the stream improvement stream, then we should. So let me let me know when back. Let me know when back. Um, but this should tell me how long. Although I probably didn't get it right when it came up, but we're waiting. My hands are here. I'm not doing anything. I mean, I guess you can see the cards here, but all right. Double, triple, and Shuffer Stern, thank you kindly for letting me know that you guys are back. My apologies. I don't know if you didn't miss anything. All I did was place 3 blue cards on top of each ace. And so here's what we're going to do. So here you can see that the ace is still here, right there. But if I was to go ahead and just pluck that ace, not physically, but spiritually, and swap it for a blue card from here. I don't know if you can tell, but if I show you, now these are just all blue backed cards, and if we look, none of them are aces. Now before we knew that there was one ace here, but now if we take a look, there's 2 red cards here. Is that strange? That's very strange, right? And so now let's go ahead and do that again. We have an ace here, but look, if I just go ahead and I pluck it out and grab a blue card, I don't know if you can tell, but we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 blue backed cards. And if we check, none of these are aces either. So before we had 2 and 2, but now if I show you, there's actually 3 aces here. And now you might be wondering, there's some shenanigans afoot. And to that I would say, yes, you're watching a sleight of hand magic stream. There will be shenanigans. But look here, I'll show you that this red back card, you'll be able to tell that this ace is still here, because if I show you from the back, you'll still be able to see the ace there. But also from the front, you'll be able to see that the ace is still there. But actually, let me swap it for that final blue card right now. And I don't know if you can tell, but if I show you now, all of these backs are blue now. And if I show you all of these faces, none of them are aces. And now if I show you here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 red-backed aces, because they are the ace of diamonds, the ace of spades, the ace of clubs, and of course the ace of hearts. And that, my friends, I will call a successful finale. That was one of my favorite tricks, Picasso aces. Very often I like to end stream with one of like 4 tricks. That's like one of the 4. So thank you kindly for the claps. Felden Kane, Double Tribble, Schuffer Stern. Thank you for the mind blowns as well, Schuffer Stern. All right, and with that, I think I can end stream. Let's find somebody to raid. Let's see, who shall we raid today? So I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the earliest I've ended in a while. But let me see here. I do want to end because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. So let's see, who have we not raided in a bit? I'm going to go over to the Friendly Fiddler. All right, you want to just raid the Friendly Fiddler? I mean, we can just raid the Friendly Fiddler. I actually don't think I've raided him in a while either. Let's see. Yeah, let me see. When was the last time? I haven't raided him. It doesn't feel like I've raided him in a while. So, he's only been going on for an hour as well. So that's probably a good raid target. Yeah, actually, let me just first, I just want to see when the last time raided out to. So the last time Friendly Fiddler raided us, and we haven't raided Friendly Fiddler for months now. So yeah, he hasn't streamed in a while. Oh yeah, that's right. That's why I haven't seen him on for a while. I guess that makes sense. All right, guys. Today we're gonna go over to our friend, the Friendly Fiddler, aka his name's Andrew. And so let's go ahead and throw some raids. So guys, if you want to come along for the raid, so the Friendly Fiddler is a fiddler. I mean, plays violin. And so if you want to copy one of these raid calls, we're going to be going here. If you get left behind and play violin on my new song. That's right. So also GipsonLens released his latest single um, as well. Do we have a link for that yet? I know. Oh yeah, you have the band. Hold on, let me see. Bandcamp. It's on Bandcamp, right? No, I know it's also in your Discord. Hold on, let me go find that. Oh yeah, okay. Guys, if you're interested in Gibson Lens's new song "Rejourney," you can check it out there. All right, there we go. Okay, now let me go start the raid. And then let me copy my own raid call because I oftentimes forget. Last week I forgot. I actually did not copy raid call, and there wasn't. It was after a game stream, so I was like, oh no, where do I copy this from? So I had to run back to my own channel, copy my own, do the raid command, copy my own raid command. because nobody else was there to copy it from. Oh man, streamer problems. All right, guys. Let's see. Thank you for the hearts, GipsonLens. Thank you. Have a good rest of the day and get well soon to your daughter. Thank you, Stern. Yes, I hope she gets better as well. And she had a tough time sleeping last night, so I hope that she sleeps better tonight. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully everybody had fun. I certainly did. Um, this was unique for me doing Magic Sleight of Hand Sunday in a suit. I normally do this for gigs, but not on casual streams. Anyway, everybody remember to hydrate, remember to stretch, remember to get good sleep because we all know it's very hard to get good sleep. Double triple, thank you for the peace. And also, you have a glorious day. All right, we're going to raid now, so bye.